YouTube. How's everybody doing? I'm almost late to my own party. I had to move the time there, trying to find a place to stop, but see how many people are on whatever day it is here on Monday, I guess. Time change and everything. Everybody's got a little bit out of whack here, but yeah, I figured I would show you guys. Probably be the last time you guys will see this car. Other than I'll probably have one more video out on it, but you guys been following the channel for a while. You saw this car on my channel quite a few times. It's a 1977 AMC Matador. Very unusual car. There's only about 6,400 of these cars made. Pretty cool car, actually. Very unusual. I've actually never seen one in person until I bought this thing. Um, but yeah, so basically, I'm hauling this thing to its new owner. I'm meeting the guy halfway. He said he would take it if I brought it halfway. He lives in New York, and so that's kind of the plan here. So it's a beautiful day out. I figured I'd come out and do a live for you guys and show you a little bit about this car and where it's at now. So um, I'm just kind of seeing what you guys are up to today too. If you got any projects on the go and what you guys kind of got going on. But this car I really didn't want to sell that badly, but it's a pretty cool car. 77 AMC Matador 360 triple black car. So it's a black interior, black paint, black vinyl roof, which it's we botched the roof a little bit doing this or whatever. So I basically got this thing to the point of running and driving. We fixed the brakes on it, new brake hose in the front. The brake's a little bit sticky. I noticed today when I loaded on the trailer again. I think it's just the linkage there. Nothing serious, but overall the car's in pretty good shape. It was a daily driver for a guy apparently for a lot of years there, and then I think he had passed away, and then the car kind of got parked or whatever. So hello. So yeah, it's going to a good home. It still needs some finishing. I got some heat from the other videos there that I had done on it, like why I didn't finish it. So the main reason I didn't, you'll see a lot of YouTubers do this where they'll buy a car like this and they'll basically just get it running and driving. They don't really do much to it. They kind of hack up the fuel system and kind of just ghetto it up to make it work or whatever. They'll, put a fuel tank in the trunk or attach a jerry can to the bumper or something like that. And for me personally, this car was just too nice to do that to. I didn't want to drill holes in the trunk. I didn't want to run things ghetto. And really, it kind of needed to be gone through before it really got driven. And I didn't want to register it because I thought, well, I don't really want to keep it longer term anyways, because I don't have a place to keep it. So it's kind of one of those things where I was like, well, what am I going to do with it? So the guy that's buying it is basically an AMC guy, and it's going to a good home. So, but it's pretty cool car. So, like I said, there was only I think there were 6,400 cars of these made in 1977. Only a handful had a 360, and very, very, very few of them were a triple black car like this. So, if you guys haven't seen this thing yet, it's a triple black. So, like black interior. I can open the door on the other side. So, black interior. It looks, every time I see the front of this thing, everybody thinks something different. But to me, it looks a Maverick, like a Maverick grabber almost. If you guys are familiar with those things, just kind of a little bit unusual car. Super cool though. This gets a lot of attention. Honestly, this would be a perfect YouTube, I guess, advertisement car, if you want to call it that or whatever. I'll probably regret selling it. I kind of already am, but I know it's going to go to somebody that'll take care of it better than I can right now. And really, I'm building a shop, and that's where the money needs to go. So if you guys haven't seen this car, this is kind of what it looks like here. So, like I said, triple black 360 car. When we got this thing, it was a total basket case. So me and my wife there, freeing on the road, she's in the chat there, I think. Um, we got this thing. The interior was completely out of it. The roof was toast on it. The paint was really grungy, hadn't been driven for quite a few years there. I thought the guy had said 2018, but maybe it was 2008. Actually, I don't remember, but it was a long time, anyways. And everything was just full of dust from the desert and everything like that. It was missing a back window. These back windows, because this car was so rare, was really, really hard to find. So It's got the original AMC wheels on it. Again, I mean, those things bring $2,000 on eBay. So basically, it was a pretty good deal. So this is actually a factory air conditioning car too, which is like really unusual. What's up, Dakota? That's cool. Yeah, so it has tilt steering, factory AC car, 360. It's a two-barrel 360, which is kind of unusual. We drove it on the trailer this morning. We haven't even started it for months. Just haven't been doing anything with it because I've been working on other projects and actual work and things like that. So, but you can see after we cleaned it up, it's in a really, really good shape here. So I don't know if I can show you guys this or not, but so look at this. Look at this roof liner even. Like it's pretty wild actually. Let's see if I can get up in this thing. It's pretty wild. Look at that. It's like a it's hard to explain, but it's almost like a textured kind of roof in this thing. Got the factory steering wheel here, so factory factory AMC steering wheel. It's got this weird gauge cluster, and if you look over here, the mirror adjust for the passenger side is actually on. It's actually on that side of the car, which is kind of funny. It's got the old Kenwood stereo deck in it there, the old school version of that. Matador written on the glove compartment. It's got all the vinyl stuff here. It's got this huge, I mean, like the back seat in this thing, it's like pretty huge back there. You could probably put two 12-inch subs right on the package tray in the back. It's so huge. So, but like I said, overall, it was kind of I did what I wanted to do with it. All this stuff's in really good shape yet. Um, the car could use a repaint for sure. That's probably the biggest thing. If I was going to keep it, I don't know what I would do with that situation because I didn't want to have to deal with taking all this trim and everything off. Every one of these trim pieces is all a separate piece. We took some of it off to try to put the roof on there, but it's like kind of a pain to work on. So it's just kind of like I said, one of those things. It's like where do we stop with it or whatever? So just yeah, it's I don't know. It's a uh, yeah, somebody's swinging by to check out the car there. So yeah, we're just kind of taking her to her new owner. Like I said, it'll need a going through just a service, and that's like I said, one of the reasons I didn't want to. That was one of the reasons I didn't want to really drive it. I'd never checked the rear end oil. I never drove it anywhere. Only went half a block with it, block maybe. Um, so probably needs differential oil checked and oil change. The carb is dripping a little bit of gas at the accelerator pump. So I bought a new carb for it and never put that on. So there's just a bunch of things I didn't want to put a new carb on there until I figured out the fuel system issue. And I think the biggest issue there was it was the fuel. I think the fuel pickup was basically I think the fuel pickup is plugged inside the tank. That's what I'm assuming anyways, because everything else works good. So I don't know. So like I said, it's a pretty cool car though. It's I don't know, just I think this is what makes it for me. I think this is the coolest part of it. And I never really realized before that the I never realized that most of these cars don't have this trim level. Like if you look at like most of the cars, these Matadors, they're like they have like I don't know, just a very bare bones interior. It's not really nice like this, which is kind of weird, but that's just how they are. So a couple of the pieces I actually have all the trim for it, a couple pieces of the trimmer off of it. I sold it for 6,500. Honestly, that's a really good deal. Like there's probably, I mean, I don't think you'd ever see one again in your lifetime. I don't like a exact car like this because they're just not around. A lot of them were six-cylinder cars, and there was also a lot of them are 304 cars. So you just don't find 360 cars like this and triple black. You'll see the odd ones. A lot of them were just funky colors like brown, like weird browns. I've seen a couple of the teal green ones, things like that. But like I said, it's all factory. That's why I didn't want to. That's why when people are saying, "Well, why didn't you just get it running and driving and whatever?" Well, because I didn't want to hack things up, and I don't have the space in my garage to really finish it the way it needs to be finished. Really, the gas tank needs to come out and get the pickup checked there and a few things like that. But so we did do a lot of work to it. I mean, it's not like this was just like a 5 minute ordeal to get this thing to the point it's at. Like, just buffed out the whole paint, put a new fuel pump on it, I mean, just got to the point of actually running the brake lines, interior, carpet. So it was a big deal, like a big ordeal to get this thing done. And again, I'm not just the guy I don't YouTube full time. So for me, this is all just doing this in, I guess, what you'd call spare time, right? So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and everything like that. Like I said, it could have used a few more things for us to totally finish up nice or whatever, but somebody's uh somebody's got to be getting a pretty cool car. If you drove this thing down the road, you'll never see another one like this for sure. So the guy that's buying it, he had a factory one that was exactly like this for his first car. His family had AMC dealers, so pretty cool. What are you guys all up to today? I see there's a handful of people online right now. You guys got any projects or anything on the go right now? Had some people see. I did was in the parking lot doing this, and there was already people walking over to me trying to talk to me about this car. It was the same when I had the square body on the back there. I had people swinging by trying to talk to me and ask me if I could sell it or whatever. It's you just don't see cars like this. When's the last time? I personally never even until I bought this car, I never even saw one of these cars in person before. They to me when I saw it, it almost looks like a bit like a Javelin, except it doesn't have those weird like jagged lines on it where it's got that like how the fenders have that weird sharpness to them or whatever. It's kind of like that, but without the sharpness. It's more of a I'd almost call it like the gentleman's javelin, but I think it's pretty cool. What are you guys up to? You guys got any car projects on the go? Yeah, I mean they only made 90,000 of them, so total, and that was over the course of like what 74 to 77. So I mean, there's not very many left out of those. Um, there was a couple special edition ones, but I don't really care for those Ole Cassinis, things like that. Yeah, a lot of times like the problem areas on these things, which this guy he knew all that because he was a AMC guy, but in here they call this like there's a name for a tool tray, I guess, on both sides, and it's like probably 6 inches wide. And it's basically you can just put stuff in there. It's like deep. It's probably this deep there, and you could just put stuff in there or whatever. And I think there's drain holes in it, and those drain holes get plugged because stuff gets down in there, and then it starts to rust through. And so he said a lot of times those are rusted through. You can look at this thing like even underneath it or whatever. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I mean this car was like factory undercoated. So I mean it's in really good shape. It's honestly, you look at this way here. It's got the factory catalytic converter still in it. Like it's all original, and that's again why I didn't want to really mess around with it because you start messing around with it or whatever, and you're gonna go and you're gonna devalue it. I think, in my personal opinion. So normally I don't care about modifying cars, but normally when you get cars, there's hundreds of thousands of them made, if not millions. And this is a car. I mean, it's actually kind of difficult to get parts for it in a way. So there's some stuff with that too. But to be totally honest, if I was going to keep it, I couldn't really live with it the way it is. So I probably would have like LS swapped it or something, which everybody's going to hate on that. But honestly, it would make it a lot nicer to drive, way more power. They've got strong rears in them. So I just think that like, why am I gonna hack up a nice version of this car? Now I might end up with one of these another time, but it wouldn't be a triple black 360 car like this because they're just not out there. I saw one sell on Bring a Trailer in nice condition there. I think it went for 44,000. So getting this thing for 6,500 bucks delivered is a pretty good deal. I'm taking it like 9 hours to his house, so or well halfway to his house, I guess. But so pretty good deal for him. If he was to paint it right away, this car is worth way more. So they're just not out there, right? So it's just like I said, it's just kind of an unusual car or whatever. But I wanted to show people before I ended up selling this thing or whatever. It's on its way tomorrow morning. It'll be dropped off at its new owner's place. It's already paid for and stuff. But super cool car. I'm gonna think it was down the road. I'll be like, man, I probably should have kept that thing. But like I said, I know it's going to a better home to someone that's actually gonna have it inside a cover and everything like that. What part of the Rust Belt do you see them in? I see them once in a while, but very rare. And again, they're not 360 cars. Most of them are either six cylinders or 304 cars. I don't think they made very many 360 cars, and it's not like that's like a wow, this thing's gonna have so much power or something like that. But it does help the value for sure. Man, there was so little of these things around. I actually had people calling from all over the country. There was two people in the Northwest that called me. One actually is funny. It was from Washington, which is actually where the car came from, and you can see the Washington license plate on it. So, and actually, both of them I think were from Washington. No, Washington, Oregon, I think. And then this guy was in New York, and had a couple people from the East Coast calling about it. Some bunch of local people, but they wanted it running and driving exactly, kind of perfect or whatever. So that wasn't going to happen. With just the way that I'm at here, schedule wise, and things like that. So I was like I said, I was pretty happy with what we got done with it or whatever. We did a kind of a full build series on it or whatever. I said I wouldn't mind getting another one day, but just you would never find one this complete either, where you're going to find it with actual that classic car guy. Who is it? But yeah, factory wheels and all that stuff too. Like, and that's the thing with me too. Like, I'm not necessarily a guy that loves to modify things, but I just look at this car and I was like, man, it's like these little wheels, for example, like just kind of give you an idea here. Like, look at like look how far in those wheels are on that. I mean, you could fit gigantic wheels and tires in here. Same on the back here. Like, look at this. You could fit huge wheels and tires. And I'm actually never really a big wheel and tire guy, but on this particular car with the right offset, it is a 1977 AMC Matador there, CG. So very, very unusual. Not many around. It's, even all the weird stuff that they did, which this is kind of annoying because this thing kind of sticks over on the driver's side, but the door handles and everything. I don't know. It's just a cool car. The trunk on this thing is massive. And it honestly probably wouldn't be the best for like a making it a fast car because it's I think these things are like 3,800 pounds or something crazy like that. But it's a, kind of unusual. Like, and again, it has these windows rolled down, which is kind of weird. Um, like I said, the American Motors, you can see those are the factory wheels with center caps. I mean, it's just like you just don't find complete cars like this. Most of the time, they've been modified already. You got to think a car like this that would come with a 360 and didn't have very much power, and people just tend to hot rod things, right? So for it to be all original, yeah, it's funny. That's what I said too. If you look at the front of this thing, I always think the front of it looks exactly like a Maverick. Isn't that weird? That's what I always think too. It looks exactly like a Maverick to me. So, but yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool car, anyways. Like I said, it's in pretty good shape. The glass is pretty good on it now. Put the back window on it. I would probably, if I was going to keep it, I'd probably change the wheels and tires on it just so they fit a little bit tighter, clean up the look of it there a little bit. I'd tint the windows, triple black with tinted windows. It looks pretty sick. Um, yeah, I don't know what else I'd really do. Just probably just clean it up again once it's been sitting outside now since I polished it. It just needs a good wash, probably. Maybe a little light hand buffing or something. Probably just a good wash. But overall, like I said, it's a pretty nice car for the next guy that's gonna get it here. So hopefully he enjoys it. But yeah, the taillights though, to me these taillights look like 68 Charger taillights. That's actually one of my favorite parts of this car is the taillights. Like from behind, this thing looks mean. It's a pretty sick car from behind. If you rolled up in that thing, you would have no idea what it was most of the time unless you're a hardcore AMC guy. Again, there's not many around. If you saw this thing driving around, you wouldn't have a clue what it was, especially if it was debadged. You would never know what it was. So I said it's factory rock guarded in pretty good shape. So it'll be, I guess, bittersweet getting it finished up and getting it to somebody. That's funny. That's exactly what it looks like to me though. It's definitely I don't know, I guess compared to a two-door Maverick, yeah, it would be longer and it's probably 500 pounds heavier than a V8 Maverick, I would think. these things are only supposed to have like 129 horsepower for a 360, which is funny, but that's how everything was in the 70s, no horsepower. That's why I'm surprised nobody ever did something even simple like put a four barrel on it or, like do any modifications like that or whatever. But I guess, like I said, the guy just daily drove it. So, and that's why I said you just don't see them like this. And that's why I didn't want to screw holes in the trunk to put like a gas tank in the trunk just for the sake of a YouTube video to drive it. I didn't want to, I didn't want to start hacking up things and making it just to be like, okay, I'm just gonna drive it for a video. I did drive it already. You guys saw that if you watch some of my older videos there when I started kind of working on this thing. We drove it like once or twice. I wasn't gonna go very far with it anyways. I just wanted to test it. We went literally like less than a block to just to basically see if it would go because I was worried. I was like, I wonder if this fuel system is actually fixed once I thought I had it fixed. So it was not fixed. So I tried fighting that thing. I was trying to get the factory fuel tank to work, and I think the tank is fine, but I think it just needs to have that pickup fixed or whatever. So, but like I said, pretty cool car. It's not something you're really going to see on the road. Maybe one day I'll have a chance to get another one back, but right now getting a shop built's more important to me. So that's kind of where I'm at with it or whatever. So it was actually hard to get on this trailer. I tried to drive it on forwards and it's even though this trailer is not that high really, I just bought this trailer, but it's not that high, but the ramps are short. So it was like it's like steep going up the ramps or whatever. And it, I ended up going up backwards. See, there's been about 10 people already trying to stop and talk to me. They're rolling down by with their windows down. I'm trying to look at this car. I kind of wish, like I said, wish I had, wish I had room for everything. I mean, eventually you can't just keep everything. So, but pretty cool car. Same guy's turning around to come back again. It's like the third time he's driven by here or whatever. Funny. So yeah, I think it'll be a cool car for the next guy. And he actually had another Matador, and he was going to he was going to do something with it, like the same as his other, um, with same as his original car, which was triple black or whatever. But he decided he's like, well, instead of going to the hassle of doing that, why don't I just buy a triple black car? So he saw this one in like a few months ago when I posted it. I think I pulled the ad down. I think I posted it maybe 4 months ago. And then that's funny. Guys keep driving by looking at this thing. And yeah, then he decided he's like, well, instead of trying to basically go through a whole one and try to make it black, which would be impossible because you never by the time you do all the seats and find the wheels and I mean just everything, right, to make it the same car. I mean, you'd be a fortune into it. So he's like, man, for the amount you're asking for it, I'm just gonna basically buy your car and get exactly what I want. And I think if he wants down the road, he'll probably paint it. But I think he's just gonna try to clean it up and drive it the way it is there. So seems pretty familiar with them. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, at least it's going to a good home or whatever. There's a few things I learned from doing this car, and a few things I would have done better. Yeah, there was a guy walked up right behind me, just about touched me in the shoulder there. He was like, "Oh no," he's like, I was like, I was on my phone here. He's like, "Oh, he's like, oh, okay." He's like, "Nice car," but I could probably sell this car in this parking lot right now. Like I said, it just whenever I have stuff like this, it's kind of unusual, and that's why I picked this kind of unusual stuff because I think it makes cool YouTube content, and it's also like interesting because it's something I've never had before either. So I do have a lot of square bodies and stuff like that, but stuff like this is really cool. I think this is cool because it was in such bad shape when we got it, and I mean, look at the condition it's in now. So, like I said, pretty happy with how it turned out or whatever. I mean, it'd be cool to have things like dual exhaust and some headers and a few things like that, just to maybe wake it up a little bit. Four barrel intake and carb probably. At least it would be a little bit more peppy. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, the hood is straight on it. I mean, this car is like pretty much rust free. Could probably see it a little bit more in the sun now. It does have some like small specks of surfaced, not really rust. It's just like where the paint's kind of come off, I guess. But if it stays inside, it'll probably never change. But this is yeah, it's funny. This is a cool car. Like I said, I kind of might have to hunt another one down one day. Another car I want is a Javelin. Those aren't as uncommon. Everybody kind of builds javelins, so it's not as exciting for me because I've seen a million of those around. But what else you guys got going on today? What kind of stuff are you guys working on? If I would ask in the poll what kind of car this is, probably 95% of you wouldn't have had a clue what this thing is. I don't know if you could even read the badge there. That's funny. Back then, badges all over everything. It's actually funny that it didn't have the dealer badge. If you guys watched back when I had this car, I didn't have a door key for it. And just by fluke, somebody had back in the day, remember everybody had the magnet things where you put your key in or whatever. So if you ever locked your keys in, you'd have a spare one, you'd hide it somewhere. I happened to find one of the one of the hidden keys, and I think I found it in the car actually, which wasn't a very good place for it for an extra key. But so yeah, like I said, you could see look how big this trunk is in this thing. Freaking thing's freaking huge. Yeah, that dude was a weirdo. Hopefully he wasn't checking me out, but this day and age, who knows, man. Uh yeah, I figured I'd catch a live here before the sun went down and wanted to do it before tomorrow when I dropped it off there. So probably not quite halfway to my destination yet. Taking it to Indiana. So if you guys see me on the road, give me a wave there. It's a pretty car that stands out. I think you might be right, actually. I think it might have been the bumper. It was a good thing I had that though, because he lost the key for the door. So but yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of what it is, anyways, guys. I just wanted to see what you guys are up to and show you the final journey of this car before I take it to its final destination there and get on to some new projects. I got to get rid of my other square body there too. Last one I threw together on the channel there. So every single person that drives by, I should be recording over my shoulder and be like, see how many people are staring at this thing as you're going by. It's pretty funny. Uh, yes, I think you're right. Yeah, we did, when we got it, there was no seats in it. There was, I mean, they were there, but they were disgusting and they're inside it and they weren't bolted down. And half the trim was kind of off the car and it was a mess. It was, yeah, wasn't wasn't good. So hopefully this next guy cleans it up and makes it a nice cruiser or whatever. Maybe I'll see it again in the future. Like I said, I don't think I'll have a chance to buy another one like this, but definitely not in this exact configuration. I mean, I'm never going to pay 45 grand for one, so this will probably be the only opportunity I'll ever have to buy one. I know they're like I said, they're hard to find parts for. Just to find that back window, I brought this car from Arizona to Oklahoma, and then I had to go back to Arizona to get a rear window glass for it because it's just not around. So just some stuff like that or whatever, but it's all good. Like I said, it just one of those things or whatever. We just gotta work through it with these project cars. It is hard to get parts for a lot of this kind of stuff, especially when you get into these like American Motors Company was kind of an oddball one there where they didn't make a pile of them. So just in general, and of course that company's not around anymore, so they didn't continue making stuff. I don't know what year American Motors kind of went under or whatever, but it obviously hasn't been for a very long time. There's this guy here living the poor life. Maybe he's coming to buy my Matador too. So sounds like the guy that's getting it's pretty stoked on it. So, but I just want to see what you guys are up to. I should probably go get some fuel and get back on the road before it gets dark here. But thanks for watching, guys. Keep up with my projects and help me out and like and subscribe and share the feed around if you can and help me grow the channel because I'm going to be doing some cool projects coming up. Got a lot of cool stuff on the back burner here. As soon as my shop gets built, I'm really going to get rocking here, but I'll still be kind of working away at some projects, just a little bit more small projects in the background here or whatever. So I try to get a weekly video out if I can. Depends what I'm doing during that week is what I've kind of put out. So I've got a bunch of little around the garage content I need to work on or whatever. So that'll probably be coming up. Spare body video will probably be coming out this Sunday if I can actually get back in time to deal with that. And then yeah, we'll see what I do with that thing afterwards. But if you guys want to see more content like this or whatever, make sure you guys like, subscribe, check me out on social media, Cruising with Kevin on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll catch you guys in the next one.